Hey, it's Eric Arnold here in the wee hours of the morning on Sunday, the 20th of November. The Sports Barn secondary studio. We got the NFL slate for you here on Sunday. Before I get to that, just a few thoughts on college football. Big day in college football today. Both Michigan and Ohio State squeaked by with less than stellar efforts. I would say Ohio State's effort looked like it was weaker than Michigan. Michigan played a better opponent in Illinois than Ohio State did. Next week, the big game. I think I saw an opening line of Ohio State by 7.5. My gut instinct is Michigan. That may not be my final answer. What else? Georgia wins again. Didn't cover. Tennessee probably got knocked out tonight by losing badly. 35 points? I think they lost by 35 points. That's hard to spin that one. You know, they're not dead because some of these other teams still have tough games. USC won tonight in a classic over UCLA, but they still have Notre Dame, very tough game, and then probably they're going to have to play Oregon. So two tough games left for USC, so they're by no means guaranteed a slot. TCU squeaked by the hair on their chinny chin, and they continue to squeak by, but they are undefeated and they are in. As long as they're undefeated, there's no way the committee can keep out an undefeated Big 12 team as much as they want to. It'll simply be a political riot if they choose to do that. I would argue, would wreck college football if that's the position they're going to take, that the Big 12 is no longer a power conference because basically they just don't think TCU is that good. They can't do that. They shouldn't do that. I don't think they will do that. As long as TCU wins out, they should be in. However, will they win out? Each week seems like TCU gets closer and closer to losing. So I believe they have one left with Iowa State, which they're not a joke. They're an okay team. And then Kansas State is playing really well, who they would play in the Big 12 title game. So there's no guarantee TCU's going to get in there. I think the team that probably is sitting on the edges now, I guess it would be Tennessee. They're hoping that a 35-point beating, though. That's hard. That's hard to spin that. Probably now, I guess it's Clemson, that's sitting there going, oh boy, maybe we have a chance. Yeah, I haven't really done the math. I haven't looked at it too closely. I'm just going by memory right here. But yeah, a lot of games to be played yet. A lot of big games next week, of course. And we'll see how it falls out. All right, NFL, let's go. I'm just going with how my card is laid out. So yours may be laid out different, but at the top of my card, it's got the Philadelphia Eagles at Indianapolis. Well, the Eagles shit on themselves last Monday night, blowing their perfect season. Just had too many fumbles, just bad, and they played poorly, which is why I'm picking the Colts here. Right now, the Eagles are in bad straits. Their defense is not good. Their run defense is particularly lousy. Their main run defender is Jordan Davis, the giant kid from Georgia. Well, he's out. He's going to be out for a number of weeks yet. So the Eagles went scouring around the league looking for giant D linemen who are at home, and they came up with a couple. Some guy from San Diego and Ndamukong Suh. I frankly thought he had a job, but I guess he doesn't. So now they're both employed by the Eagles, but I don't think that's going to matter because it's a short week. It's way too quick a turnaround. They lost on Monday night. Now they play at 1 o'clock on Sunday. I think that's just way too quick to integrate those guys into the defense in any kind of cohesive manner. So I think it's going to be more of the same. The Eagles are going to struggle to control the line of scrimmage. They're laying 6.5 points. I'm not seeing where the Colts are that bad of a team. Now they've stopped whatever silliness they were doing there where, Sam Ellinger was better than Matt Ryan? Wait, what? So now they're playing their best quarterback in Matt Ryan. I see this as a close game. The Colts beat the Chiefs at home already this year, so they can do it. The ceiling for the Colts is a pretty high ceiling, and I think you're going to get a good game out of the Colts. I'm not so sure the Eagles are going to play a good game. This one should be close. We'll take the 6.5 at home with the Colts. Rams Saints. The Rams. I'm going to say this is the game that the Rams show some pride. It's like, come on, man. You guys are the Super Bowl champions. You can't go from being the Super Bowl champions to going like 5-12 the next year. That's just, no one's ever done that, I don't think. I got to give that some thought, but I don't think anybody's ever done that. And that's embarrassing. That to me, that tarnishes your Super Bowl. As John Madden said, when they're carrying you off the field and the confetti's falling down, he says they can never take it away. Yeah, but they can try. And by being awful the next year, that kind of, it washes up on the previous year a little bit. How good was that team? It did not play the Chiefs. It did not play Buffalo. Instead, it played the Bengals. Sorry, Frank, but they just weren't that exciting last year. They probably were not the best team in the AFC. So, how good are the Rams? I'm going to say the Rams here. I've been wanting to fade. I have been fading, mentally, if not giving bookie money, the Saints all year long. I don't like their coach. I'm not in love with their quarterback situation. I think their best players are hurt, like Lattimore, the cornerback. So we're going to go ahead here and say the Rams somehow get well Sunday. We'll take the 2.5. Looks like it might even go to 3 maybe today. Who knows? I find that hard to believe, but I would think the money would come in on the Rams just for the name. But anyway, Bears Falcons. Who the hell knows? I'll take the points. It's a 3-point spread. You get two bad teams. I guess I'll just go ahead and take the points here. Perhaps if we were going along the lines of quarterback coach, I do think the Bears coach is better than the Falcons coach. I definitely think the Bears quarterback is better than the Falcons quarterback. So that basis alone has to put us on the Bears. So we'll take the Bears. Commandos, Texans. The Commandos, understandably so, were over the moon Monday night. They were just, you would have thought that they just won World War II. It was incredible watching those guys celebrate. Oh well, now they got to play again on a short week. On the road, I'm kind of thinking this is a trap for them. I wish this number was a little higher, but I think the Texans, this might be a spot for them. You're catching a way happy with themselves commando team, and you gotta like the Texans, I think, in this spot. So we're gonna go with the Texans plus the 3. Patriots Jets. Man, I think this is. I don't know. You know what? I had it written down one way, and I'm going to give it to you another way. I don't know how I go against Bill Belichick here against the Jets. The Jets are a shitty franchise. Now, this team has been doing things that they don't normally do in Jetland. This has been a very good Jet team. And I'm just going to say the Patriots figure out a way to just do what they always do, and that's beat the Jets. And you're only laying 3.5. So I might be making a mistake here, but and I told you on my spreadsheet, I got it written out, it says Jets. And I think that's stupid. We're going to say Patriots. The Patriots. How can you go against Bill Belichick and the Patriot franchise against the Jet franchise? And I'm going to take the Jets? No, I say. I'm taking the Patriots. All right, number next. I don't understand these lines on the Giants. I just don't get it. They just keep putting up ridiculous lines on this team, and they cover them every week because they're a good team. The Giants are only 3-point favorites over the Lions. I don't understand that at all. The game's in New York. I don't understand this at all. You got to take the Giants here. I believe the NFL is the easiest game to handicap. Sometimes when you look at a line in the NFL, it's not a trick, it's not a trap. The line's just wrong. The line is just wrong. And for whatever reason, this line is just wrong. The Giants are more than 3-point favorites over the Lions, particularly at home. Don't overthink it. Just take the value where it stands, and that's the Giants. All right, Ravens, Panthers. I think you got to take the 13 points here with the Panthers. They're a bad team. This is true. However, Mayfield's going to play this week, not P.J. Walker. Mayfield knows the Ravens inside and out. Once so many years ago, he had, I think it might have even been last year, that he had a shootout, bang, bang, wild game against these guys up at Cleveland. I don't remember who won. I think the Browns did win that game. And I'm not 100% sure on that because all I remember was it was a wild, crazy game, and Mayfield played pretty well. And I think that's what you could be looking at here, that Mayfield plays well enough to keep the Panthers in this game with that giant 13-point spread. So I was somewhat impressed. I watched a lot of that Thursday night game of the Falcons and the Panthers. The Panthers were able to control both lines of scrimmage. If they can fight to a draw on the line of scrimmage against the Ravens, this could be a one-score game. I don't expect them to win, but I think they could hold it close. Weather's kind of crummy right now here on the East Coast, so that may hold the score down just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and take the 13 with the Panthers. Bills, Browns. I think the Bills are still one of the best teams in the league. Now, they're in a stretch right now. They just had a ridiculous step-on-your-dick loss against the Vikings. It took me 40 years to live long enough to see the plot of All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise and Craig T. Nelson come to reality. But that's what happened if you saw that game last Sunday. I should have had Rifleman fall on the ball. Yeah, you should have. Or done some damn thing. But, yeah, as the Bills, with a ridiculous come-from-ahead loss, I don't know. They're playing the Browns. The Browns are a dead franchise. So I kind of think the Bills are going to get well here. They're kind of on a mini road trip. It's kind of like, all right, let's get out of town. Let's pack up our troubles in our old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. So I think they're going to get well here in Detroit. Believe it or not, if you don't know this, the Bills are playing the Lions just 4 days from now on Thanksgiving. So I think they're going to make that their second home. They're going to kick the shit out of the Browns later today, and then they're just going to ride that era of good feelings and kick the hell out of the Lions on Thanksgiving. And then by that time, they may have finally opened the streets in Buffalo, and then they'll go home. So I think probably the whole city of Buffalo is in Detroit. I think they came with them. Nobody's in Buffalo right now. Why would you be there? If you are, you're probably locked in your house. So I'm thinking everybody's in Detroit right now. So it's going to be a big old Bill party, I think, tomorrow, and that's just going to carry over to Thanksgiving. So we're taking the Bills. We'll lay the 7.5. Raiders, Broncos. Good Lord, who knows? Who knows? I gotta look what I wrote here. Jeez, it says Raiders. I haven't a clue why. Why not the Raiders? We'll take the Raiders, and I don't know why. Bengals, Steelers. I used to just reflexively pick the Steelers in these games every time, all the time, no questions asked. I don't think I can do that anymore. I think the Bengals might finally be starting to be a real team. And if they are a real team, this is a game they have to have. They have to keep up with the Ravens. The Ravens are almost certainly going to beat the Panthers tomorrow. Bengals have to hold serve as well. So they got to go into Pittsburgh and get this game. And I think they will. I think Joe Burrow will do enough to outplay Kenny Pickett or whoever they put at quarterback. So we're going to take the Bengals here. Bengals get revenge over stepping on their dick at home in that first game. So we'll take the Bengals. This is an interesting game, this Dallas-Vikings game. Why is Dallas a 1.5 point favorite? I don't know. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, Cousins versus Prescott. That's tough. You put a gun to my head, I'd probably say Prescott. Coaching wise, well, you got the new guy there for the Vikings versus McCarthy. That's probably a toss-up. Difficult. I'm going to say this is probably just one of these where the line's just wrong. Where, to me, Vikings are at home. Are the Vikings that much worse than the Cowboys that they should be 1.5 point dogs at home? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Plus, another factor that led me to say, okay, fade the Vikings last week. And last week was a disaster, but only 6 of you saw it, so who cares? I'll do better this week, I hope. But at any rate, why I've wanted the Vikings last week was I thought they're in one of these spots where they can't catch the Eagles. They're so far ahead of the Packers, they're just kind of coasting. The Eagles lost now. So the Vikings, they can see a path to that 1 seed, which is a very good way to get to the Super Bowl. So this is an incredibly important game for the Vikings. They beat the Cowboys. I'm going to say they have the inside track to the Super Bowl because the Eagles have a tougher schedule coming down the stretch than the Vikings do. So if they can get this game at home versus the Cowboys, the Vikings, there's no reason to think they can't go to the Super Bowl. So we're going to take the Vikings. They're just on a roll right now. They're just on a roll, and we're going to say it keeps going at home against the Cowboys. And then lastly, I think this is an easy one, the last game. We'll lay the points here with Andy Reid. He is the man on the road. When he goes on the road, especially in division, he takes care of business. So only laying 5.5 against the Chargers. Yeah, he's going to cover that. We'll take the Chiefs. Monday night, I haven't really given that one a lot of thought. I'm just glancing at it now. I think you got to take the Niners. The Cardinals aren't going anywhere. The Niners, I think, as they get healthy and integrate McCaffrey into the unit, they're just going to get more and more powerful. That's kind of like a hurricane. I think that the Niners are just going to get stronger and stronger as they move across open water towards the playoffs. So we're going to go there with the Niners on Monday night. That's it. That's all we got for you. So, hey, what am I doing? Why am I not making more videos? Believe it or not, I'm actually working on this big video project. It's about the 1959 championship game, if you can believe that. I think it's going to be a pretty good, when it's done, I think it'll actually be pretty good. It's one of those where I'm hoping I put it up and it won't draw like 10 views, or 10,000 views. It'll be one that could sit there forever and just draw view after view, and maybe at some point, it'll have a couple 100,000 views. Or maybe nobody gives a shit about the greatest game time forgot, and it'll get 10 views, which will be incredibly discouraging. But the story's already been written. I'm simply telling it to you, and you don't know it. So that's where I'm hoping that sports fans, as they're aimlessly leafing through YouTube, might see that and go, "Oh, what's this?" We'll see. All right, thanks for being here. Hey, I'm Eric Arnold. I believe in winning NFL picks. Let's get some. And we'll talk again. Signing off.